Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, September 20th, 2014, and you are watching The Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Discofani, and this is my good friend Bruzola. Kate and Bonnie are behind the glass with us today, and you are joining us on InRadio.com TV network, broadcasting to the world from the InRadio studios here at the Village Music Shoppy in beautiful Massac, Long Island, in the great state of New York.
The Empire State.
The Empire State. You want to hear a quick story about the Empire State?
Why not?
Okay. Driving home from Schenectady, and I got pulled over for a ticket.
Oh, really?
For speeding, right?
Oh.
So the guy tells me, I'm not going to go into the whole story, but the guy tells me
How fast were you going?
He says I was going 84 miles an hour.
84, okay.
Which is very possible. I could have easily been doing 84 miles an hour, right? Pulls me over. I tried to give him all my stuff, and he's being kind of nasty with me, so I said, you know what, I'm just going to ride this out here.
Yeah.
Let him do things.
You didn't tell him your wife is an ex-cop?
I did not say that because I was afraid.
Oh, really?
I was afraid that, you know, this guy really could care less about it, right? So he tells me, he says, do you remember how fast I told you were going? I says, yeah. I said, you told me I was going 84. He says, good. He says, do you think that maybe you were in a rush to get home? I says, very possible. I don't know. He says, but I'm not going to give you a ticket. He says, I'm not going to give you a speeding ticket.
Oh, yeah?
He says, I'm going to give you a ticket because your license plate cover covers the word Empire State.
Yeah, I guess I heard about that being a technicality they get people on.
I didn't know you can get a ticket for that.
Yeah, I heard about that a couple of years ago. Because, you know, your license plate cover, like I say, it's not supposed to obscure anything on the license plate.
Right, but I mean, but it says you could see New York on it.
Yeah.
It's just obscuring the slogan, or I guess our motto. Is that our motto?
So that winds up being, is that still a moving violation?
No, it's not a moving
There you
violation.
go. It's just a moneymaker for these guys, is all it is, you know?
But it's just funny that you mentioned the Empire State.
You know what they say? You know what the Empire State's motto is?
What is it?
Excelsior. You know what that is?
Pay more money?
Ever upward.
Is that the...
Ever upward, my friend. Ever upward. You know.
How are you doing that? Like this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to be obscene
Like
on the
this?
air here. I mean,
Sorry.
you know, don't need the feds coming down on us. You know.
Well, thank you, New York State. That's all I can tell you.
What was the officer's name? Do you remember?
No, I don't know. I
Sergeant Sandowski or something? You know?
Sergeant Stadowski. Alrighty, so that's my New York State story.
I see.
And I don't even know how much the ticket is. You have to plead guilty first.
Yeah.
And then they tell you how much it is.
Well, you know,
And what if it's a $500 ticket?
I don't know. You know, I got a ticket a couple of years ago for talking on the phone, you know, and I was guilty. And, you know, the thing is that happened in Nassau County. I took a drive to Nassau County. It wound up being basically they want to make a deal with everybody. You know, the worst thing you can do is mail it in because they'll cut you a deal. I don't know how much my ticket was originally, but I think I paid $75. You know, it wound up being like a parking ticket is what it wound up being. It wasn't even a moving violation.
Well, they told me I could just plead not guilty and go back up to Schenectady.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, and then speed on the way and get caught again, right? You know.
I think that's what they're hoping for. All right, anyway. I got a couple of stories for you.
Did you hear?
Did you hear about? Okay. We've got, in August,
Yes.
Facebook. And you know how much we love Facebook.
I am addicted to Facebook, I think.
Okay. Facebook tallied over 80 million likes for all of the 32 NFL teams.
Okay.
Okay, and what they did was, and they looked for a winner, person that had the most likes in each of the individual counties in the United States.
Okay.
Like Nassau County, Suffolk County, things like that.
All the 5 boroughs.
Okay. The object was they wanted to create a fandom map so that you could you look at the NFL and you could see. Oh,
So when you know when you're traveling into hostile territory.
right. So Seattle obviously had like most of the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
Okay. The Patriots take care of the New England states. Vermont, Massachusetts, Maine, things like that. And in the Midwest, it's the Broncos.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. The Dallas Cowboys, though, had the most. 7.4 million likes, more than any other
That's
team.
not that surprising. I think they're the highest valued NFL franchise, I believe.
And of course, here in New York, it's dominated by the Giants, except in the western part of the state, you get the Bills. There are 3,007 counties in the United States.
3007, okay.
Okay, and every NFL team won at least one county.
Except for?
The New York Jets.
Okay.
He didn't win any.
Wow, not even Suffolk County.
No.
Or Suffolk or Nassau
None.
or Queens.
Zero.
Where they used to play. They used to play in Queens.
Not even one.
Man,
And you know, in 2013, you know how many they won?
no.
One.
Really, one county.
Nassau County.
Nassau County.
That was it. How embarrassing is that?
Well, you know, I think Facebook needs to have not just like, but love, okay? I think people love the Jets, and they didn't want to just like the Jets. I don't know.
No.
You're not buying that one, huh?
No. All right.
Okay.
And the other one, we teased this before, a lower league Swiss football club, now of course football
Is soccer.
is actually soccer. Okay. They're investigating the reports that some of its fans urinated in the water bottle of the other goalkeeper,
Okay.
okay, who then took a drink from the bottle, okay?
Oops.
Rito Felder.
Yeah.
Okay, he's the goalie from Muri.
Yeah.
It's the 4th division. Told the Daily News, the Billick Daily News, that at first he thought his drink had been warmed by the sun.
Yes, it's a little warm there, okay.
Fans in the crowd, there were only about 500 people at the game. They apparently persuaded the water boy to pass them the bottle.
Oh, really? Persuaded him? Any, any money involved?
And the thing is, they wound up losing the game, 3-2. The fans, the president said, the fans should realize that they have
President
done...
Obama?
Yeah. That they have done great damage to our club. But the coach, the Muri coach, said that the incident was the lowest of the lows.
Yeah, well, it is. It is.
I don't know. I mean, it might be the lowest of the lows, but what about the referee who had his head chopped off? And then they brought the head back and put it in the middle of the field on a stake.
Yeah, that's...
That's pretty low.
Yeah, that's ISIS material is what that is, But, when you had posted that we're going to talk about that, I did a little research to see what is the impact of drinking urine. Because once in a while you hear that people, they're stranded, they're dehydrated or whatever, and people do drink their own urine,
Yes.
So it doesn't kill you.
Maybe it matters if it's your own.
Well,
Like
one
maybe you
of
develop
the
a
things they
taste
said
for
is
it?
basically if you're drinking your own urine because you're dehydrating, basically the next pee that you take is going to have more because it's mostly water, but but it's also got other chemicals in it that it's trying to get rid of because they're no good for your body or whatever. Okay, so if you're drinking this, the next time it's not as much water, it's more of bad stuff or whatever. But in India, it's part of a health regimen, believe it or not. People routinely drink urine in India, believe it or not. And Madonna says that she pees on her feet to treat athlete's foot. Believe it or not. It could be dangerous, though, if you're drinking the urine of a drug addict. Okay?
Why is that?
Well, because the drugs are in your urine, So, you could be drinking a drug addict's urine, okay? Next thing you know, you're testing positive for drugs, too. But I heard these guys were yelling, now you're going to get AIDS, is what I heard they were yelling at.
Really?
Yeah. Which is, that's bad, obviously,
The things that you learn on this program.
Yes.
And I hope that all of you that are having your breakfast are thoroughly enjoying this conversation.
It was orange juice. I don't know.
All righty. One other quick thing, real fast.
Go ahead.
Remember when we talked about Peyton Manning and his Papa John's franchises?
Yeah, you said that basically, he owns all these franchises. Now that Colorado has legalized marijuana, it's got to be good for business.
Peyton Manning owns 21 franchises. Okay. Yesterday, he credited the state's decision to legalize marijuana for the booming sales. Okay. There's some different laws out here in California, he said.
Colorado.
Colorado. Pizza business is pretty good out here, believe it or not, due to some recent law changes. So the sales in his places, they were between 3,000 and 4,000 a day. Now they're up to almost 6,000 a day.
Wow.
So
Good case of the munchies, my friend.
good case of the munchies. All right. You know what? I'd say we go to a break.
That sounds good to me.
You know, we're just getting started here on the Glory Days show. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little smack with our friend from the Windy City, Jerry Schwarzman, as his Bears come into New York on Monday to take on the Jets.
Coming to Jersey. They're not coming to
Jersey,
New York.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Later on, we'll have Pete Torgerson on the hotline as we try to figure out just what the heck is happening in the NFL. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco, only on radio.com. Coming right back.
InRavio.com. For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com. InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team.
Welcome back to the Glory Days show. We want to talk for a minute here about our
Pigskin Pick'em.
Skin Pick'em. And we're going to show you what the standings are for the games
I don't want to look.
through the first two weeks. They don't include
Thursday night's
the
game.
Thursday night game.
Yep.
And let's
That
see,
was a
can we get
blowout.
that up there? There we go. Okay. So the leader after 1 week is an inanimate object.
After 2 weeks.
After 2 weeks.
Although, like you say, we're throwing out the worst week. So right now we got 1 week that's in the books, I guess.
Right. So our leader right now, that's not the right one. That's
Okay.
last week. Whatever.
Well, since we are dropping the worst
Right.
week we have, Stone's week 12 in week 2 gives him the early lead. He also had 10 in week 1.
Right. And in second place right now is I Need a Bag of Ice, who's tied with 5 others. with 11 correct. Big Dog 1940, The Grease Man, Tenacious Titans, and I'll Probably Lose.
I think that's Kevin. That's Kevin.
That might be my,
Discofani, right?
my son Kevin, that's right.
What about your humble hosts? Well, Disco is 10. He's tied for third after getting just 4 last
It
week.
was a terrible week.
And your humble narrator, Mr. B, has 8 after getting 7 last week.
Hey, Sammy. Sammy Stone.
Hey,
Tell me the future. Hello.
wise guy. We're talking brightness here.
And this is the guy who's leading everybody.
You got him.
I'm going to take his batteries away from him.
Let's get out of this.
All right.
This is silly. All righty. I tell you what, let's move on.
Okay.
All right?
Big game Monday night.
Big game Monday night. Okay. This week's primetime Monday night football game, okay, takes place right in our own backyard. Well, actually, it's across 2 bridges and another island.
Yep.
But regardless, the Jets will take on the Chicago Bears at MetLife Stadium, which is somewhere in the swamps of Jersey. We thought it'd be nice to talk to a delusional fan from Chicago who actually thinks that the Bears have a chance against the Jets this week. He's been on this program numerous times before, and virtually each and every week, one of his predictions has been so wrong, it's forced him into the witness protection program. I think when last we heard from Jerry, he was somewhere in Guam.
Okay.
But I think his wife now is starting to call him Albert.
Albert. Okay.
Anyway, we got Jerry on the phone. All right, please welcome to the program the lovely and talented Jerry Schwarzman. Jerry, are you there?
Hi, I send you greetings and salutations from His Excellency.
Very good.
How are
Paul,
you?
You're very soft on the phone, but I can hear you, but not really.
All right, we're going to talk very loud. How's that? Any better?
That's so good. Jerry, you still there? Jerry. Well, that's what happens when you're in a witness protection program.
You
I
don't
guess
usually
you just
get-
disappear.
You don't usually get a good phone.
No.
Okay.
Can you hear
I'm
me
back.
now?
Sorry.
Can you hear any
us?
better?
Yes, well, faintly, but I can hear you well enough, I believe. I just have one question, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure.
How do I know all this inside stuff we're going to share tonight isn't going to get to Coach Ryan?
Well, you don't.
I don't know if Coach Ryan even cares anymore. He's got no contract past this year. You
Got
know?
to tell me he's not listening.
I
Because
don't
I got
know.
some inside secrets to tell you.
All right, what do you
Well,
got?
we can't wait to hear these secrets.
Well, the first secret, and again, this is just between us, is that we have a guy, the Bears have planned to have a guy on the sidelines who looks like Coach Ryan to call timeouts at strategic moments.
Yeah.
That seems to be a pretty good defense. And the other thing we plan to do is we're not sending any running backs on the traveling roster. We're only sending receivers.
Well, the Jets are number 1 in rushing defense.
Yes.
And the Chicago Bears are 30th in rushing offense. So something's got to give there, I guess, or maybe that's just the way the game is going to play out.
Yeah, you won't see a ball on the ground in this game unless it's somebody blew a play.
Yeah. You know, I wanted to get out on the table all this talk about the Bears and their playoff history and their greatness and all that stuff. Do you know they've only won 2 Super Bowls?
Okay. The Jets have only won 1. So,
I understand
you
that.
know.
But, you know, the Bears were really the monsters of the Midway and all the rest of that, but only up until 1963. You know, from 1963 to today, 51 years, they've only appeared in 2 Super Bowls. They beat New England
Yeah.
in 85, or I guess it was 86, with Jim McMahon and
The refrigerator.
William Perry. And then they lost to Indianapolis in 2007. So they've only been to 3 other championship games.
We're not talking about the Super Bowl here. We're talking about the Jets this week.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, the
The
Jets.
Bears are 7-3 lifetime versus the Jets.
But as far as the Jets are concerned, they've only been to one Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and we won that Super Bowl. So our Super Bowl winning percentage is better.
Okay. You keep telling yourself that. Of course, the Bears have that secret weapon, ex-Jet Santonio Holmes. He's
Yeah,
not.
exactly. And just to know where we set the water line, we compare everything to the Chicago Cubs.
Oh,
we're
I see.
We're
Okay.
sitting just pretty.
I see. Yeah. Well, that's a pretty low bar, my friend.
Well, you know what though,
So
but Jay
It depends
Cutler,
from which direction you're looking.
but Jay Cutler loves Monday Night Football.
Well, I think Geno Smith does too. Geno Smith had the best game of his career last
Yeah.
year,
He had
Monday
3
night
touchdowns.
against Atlanta. He threw 3 TDs, had a 147.7 quarterback rating, in a thrilling 30-28 win over Atlanta.
I am man enough to tell you that I do not know what a 147.7 quarterback rating actually means.
Well, that's pretty high, man. It means you completed a lot of passes, you had a lot of touchdowns. Probably you didn't have any interceptions.
What's the highest you could be?
I think it's like 160 or something like that.
Why wouldn't they just make it up to 100?
Smarter minds than us come up with this stuff, Disco.
Is that like the pitcher's earned run average?
I saw that Rex Ryan guaranteed. This is like the first time that they're at home on prime time, because the last time they were at home in prime time was November 12th, 2012, against New England, the butt fumble game.
Oh, was that that game?
So he guaranteed there won't be a butt fumble in this game, is what he's guaranteed. Talk about setting the bar pretty low. I think they lost that game 45-3 or something,
So
I think the game is going to be very entertaining, to tell you the truth. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think obviously the matchups will in this game be key, and hopefully if the Bear receivers are right, that will be the difference. But I think this game is going to be tight.
86% feel Chicago is going to win.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm taking the Jets this week. I really think they have it. They showed me something against Green Bay.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that they don't know how to call timeouts.
Well, and they have 12 guys on the field. And,
12 guys on the field.
Throw interceptions.
Throwing interceptions with 12 guys on the field, they can't.
The secondary is a mess. It really comes down to the Bears aren't going to run. The Jets have a great running defense. The Bears' running offense is last in the league just about. So it really comes down to what Jay Cutler can do against the Jets secondary, which is suspect.
But what can the Bears do against the Jet front four?
Yeah, well,
Their
that's
defense.
right.
Their offense. I mean, their offensive line, because I think they're going to chase Cutler all over the field.
Well, the thing is that the Jets, they had a good game against Green Bay, and then Aaron Rodgers does his magic. Jay Cutler isn't as mobile a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers. I think that's the only chance the Jets have in this game.
All right, Jerry, they have, everybody is waiting for your bet. The Jets are -3. The Jets are giving you 3 points. And the over-under is 45.5. That's a pretty high number. What do you like? He's still
Pretty
there?
quiet.
Did we lose him? Hey, Jerry, you still there?
Tell you, I think the witness protection program has caught up with him, I think, Oh, there we go.
We lost him.
He's on the move. That's all I can say. He's on the move.
The last time we had Jerry on the phone, his battery died.
I see.
I don't know. I wonder about the feds sometimes. He's either that or maybe his wife found out he was talking smack again.
No, I hope not. I hope not.
Well, Jerry, we're going to give one quickie thing here, and we're going to find out what Sammy Stone thinks.
Right.
Sammy Stone,
That's right.
tell me the future.
Okay, ask me.
Will the Jets beat the Bears on Monday night?
That ain't gonna happen. Ooh. That's better.
There you go.
What's going on?
So the Stone, who is leading
I know.
Our,
Pigskin Pick'em.
our Pigskin Pick'em, has said take the Bears and the points.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. What are you going to do? You know what? It's halftime here at the Glory Day Show. Time to catch our breath. All righty? When we come back, we'll talk about what's going on in the NFL as more and more players are being placed on the exempt list.
I see.
Due to illegal battles involving hitting children with sticks, throwing their girlfriends over their heads onto a couch filled with loaded assault weapons, and other assorted atrocities. Atrocities?
Atrocities.
Atrocities.
Against women.
Against women.
And children.
And children. Our good friend Pete Torgerson will be on the line to talk about it. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the InRavio.com TV network. We're coming right back.
Transmission of lice occurs from being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like catching a cold or a flu.
You have guaranteed peace of mind in every bottle of Got Lice because all of our products are completely natural,
And organic.
but strong enough to cover all your lice removal needs while being safe and effective. Our professional technicians are specially trained with our exclusive proven technique to successfully comb out head lice. We come right to your home at your convenience.
Whenever you want us.
We bring everything needed to perform a successful and complete comb out while eliminating your head lice. And we leave you with our exclusive complimentary products to use for the next 10 days following our treatment.
For free.
Our technicians also check all family members who have been exposed to lice. Please visit us on our website today at gotlice.co or feel free to call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 646-257-0121.
InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com. The Bully News Network, coming soon to InRavio.com. An all-new weekly show highlighting the latest news and information about the epidemic of bullying. Join Scott Hislop as he explores the issues with Dr. Michelle Golland, along with parents, teachers, and school officials, and many others affected by bullying. We'll tell stories together and work toward finding a solution to this rampant problem. The Bully News Network premieres Tuesday, September 9th at 6 p.m. only on InRavio.com.
after all the backlash, what the heck were they thinking? Then we found out that the Panthers defensive end, Greg Hardy, was tossing his girlfriend in the air over his head onto a couch that was filled with loaded assault weapons, right? And then Arizona Cardinals found out that their running back, Jonathan Dwyer, was arrested on domestic abuse charges after striking his pregnant girlfriend. But other than Rice, none of the other players were suspended by the NFL. And Commissioner Roger Goodell had been in hiding and hadn't even issued a statement all week.
Until Friday.
Until Friday, yesterday.
And he came out and...
he came out and he said, first of all, he sent a letter to all 32 NFL team owners.
Yeah.
And basically that he's announcing that they're going to do training sessions, okay? That'll be in the next 30 days for the prevention of domestic violence and sexual assault. He said, these initial sessions will begin to provide the men and women of the NFL with information and tools to understand and recognize.
Whatever.
You know what? You've had to go to those. Do you ever have to go to those ethnic training and
Yes.
And all that stuff?
Ethics, yeah.
Right? It's just, it's.
Well, when I was working for Coopers and Library, and I was a manager, I had to take this ethics class.
Right.
And they sent you like a video, and you had to answer questions. It was called Navigating the Gray, because things aren't black and white. There's a lot of gray in the middle here, okay? I had to take that test 6 times before I passed it. And I thought I was just being entrepreneurial, I saw an opportunity, let me optimize that opportunity there. Right. Wasn't the right answer, though. It really wasn't.
Well, you know what? At least when he had the press conference,
yeah,
he said a couple things. First of all, obviously, what's he going to say? He's got to say that. He says there were many examples of the NFL doing wrong, and it starts with me. He admitted his failures. He promised action and said that nothing is off the table.
Yeah. So he's saying exactly what Ray Rice said. I made a mistake. I'm not going to do it again. But
Right.
Ray Rice is suspended, and this guy
Right.
is allowed to keep in that position. I think that's wrong.
It's wrong. It's just not right. You have to be consistent in what you're doing. And, he went into a hole for...
Yeah,
8
he went into
days.
hiding. He went in the witness protection program is what he did for a couple of weeks. Well, about a week, I guess.
So, we just want to kind of, we know what's been going on in the NFL. We know about these players. So we wanted to bring our good pal, Pete Torgerson, in on this. I think do we have Pete on the phone?
Pete, you there?
I am, guys. What's going on?
Hey, Petey, how are you?
You don't beat your wife, do you, Pete?
What's that?
You don't beat your wife, do you?
Ah.
Okay, I hope not. Okay.
No, it's a big question. So, are you still beating your wife?
Yeah, okay, all right.
Listen, I don't know about you guys, but my wife has a gun.
Well, I know. I'd be afraid of your wife,
Got no
too.
chance over there, Disco.
So, every now and then I have to come in with bruises
Well,
on my
that's a
head.
good deterrent. I'll put it to you that way.
That is a deterrent. That is true. But you know what? And Pete, I know you obviously have a lot more contact with people that have become athletes, that have become professional athletes. And you've seen them come up through the ranks. You've seen them come up as kids. Even at the lowest level of society, okay? Players of any type of players that excel in a sport, no matter what the sport is, they're treated a little differently.
They are.
They're pampered. They kind of float through the system as they get older. They're never being held to the same either academic or
And that's
ethical standards that the regular people are.
And that's a good point, because all these guys, they all went to college, I think if you have a culture of promiscuity, so to speak, it just festers itself. They get to this level, and they think that everything is still cool to do.
Right.
Now, I'm looking at this guy, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, Jameis Winston.
Winston.
How much trouble has this guy been in And he got in trouble again this week, right?
Did you hear what he
and now
did?
we're going to suspend. Well, he got up and he said something, and it was pretty vulgar, I think is what it was. I did see the quote. I'm not going to repeat it.
But it's
here.
a stupid kid thing. That
Well,
they
but
do.
how many stupid kid things has this guy done?
Exactly.
He's been shooting
long list.
BB guns. He's been stealing, shoplifting. He got caught
Well,
doing.
listen, he got suspended for the first half.
Yeah, first half. Wow.
On a team that they're going to beat by 30 anyway.
Yeah.
You know, they made it out like this was such an important thing. You know, and they're missing the point.
Well,
that
they-
it's
they
a
are.
game and it doesn't matter.
It starts at the lower levels, though. It really
Right.
does.
You know, I mean, all of a sudden, and Pete, you've seen this. Guys become professionals. All of a sudden now they're getting paid. You know, and
Well,
they
a guy
get
like Ray Rice is a perfect example. He was at Rutgers in the heyday, generating more publicity for that school than they've ever had.
Yeah.
They were in, the top 10 at that point, that one game, that Thursday night game.
Yep.
It was on ESPN.
Right.
That was the heyday of Rutgers football. Of course, I'm sure he wasn't in class Friday morning after that. You know, they're revenue-generating sports. It's all about money. That's what the whole NFL is about. The NFL, one of their top players of all time, cut his wife's head off, O.J. Simpson. That's a fact. So, take it from there. How come 15, 20 years ago when this happened, they didn't get a program in place? Say, listen, guys, we got to slow down. We got too much of this stuff, knocking your wives around, beating up your girlfriend. This animal out in down in Carolina, he's throwing his girlfriend around onto a pile of guns. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Yeah.
These guys are animals. What are you doing with 50 guns in your house, first of all?
and you know
Are
what?
you
They
all into
didn't.
thug life? Are you a bad guy? You need your guns?
They weren't gonna put him on the inactive list. They did it because of the pressure.
Yeah, that's, well.
They weren't gonna
He's been
do
found
it.
guilty by a judge already. He's waiting for a jury trial.
He's already been found guilty.
Yeah.
Right.
Unbelievable.
So
You know,
Goodell blew it on this one.
I
You know
think
what?
so, too. And I think he deserves to take the fall, don't you?
TMZ is the most reputable news organization out there now. They're paying people off. They're getting to the bottom of these things. Ray Rice would have skated. No
Yeah.
one would have said a word. All right, 2 games. Maybe he should have
Right.
been more. She was laying on the ground. He hit her a left hook. And guess what? That wasn't the first time he punched her.
no, probably not. Nobody does that the first time.
Right. If I knocked out my wife and she's laying there, I'm not going to stand there like, oh, jeez, look what I did again.
But let me ask you a question, though. Let's say that happened to you, okay? Are you
I'd still
losing
be
your
in jail.
job? Are you going to lose your job because of that?
Uh,
No, you might go to jail.
yeah.
You might have to pay a fine. You might have to go to court, but you're not going to lose your job over it. So my question is, should he lose his job? Now I understand that the
Guess what? I'm
NFL.
not making $8 million a year either.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
true.
And
But you
I'm
know
not
what?
and I'm not on the news, and I'm not a role model to kids. and
Right.
I'm not held to a higher.
Well,
echelon.
that is
I
the
think
thing.
everybody's entitled to make
Privilege
one
be a
mistake.
pro athlete, and these guys got to start realizing it. You can't act like an animal. They play in a crazy sport. You go to a boys' club every morning. You're with your best buddies. You're playing football every day. You're
Right.
25 years old. Who's better than you? You're making $8 million a year. You're playing football. You're hanging around with your buddies.
Right.
You got more girls than you know what to do with. You got more fun than you know what to do with. You're VIP'd everywhere. You don't pay for a thing. Show some responsibility. Show some maturity.
Well, athletes. Nobody's saying that football players or any other athlete should not be exempt from all of the society's laws and their penalties. They shouldn't be treated any different either, because theoretically justice is blind,
That's right.
right?
But
And you know what? The NFL is a product. It's entertainment. And if you don't like what they're doing, just stop watching it. You know what I mean?
it's not that easy, Disco.
Yeah. Well,
Come on, you're watching Tampa Bay and Atlanta last night. It's 38-0 because you got Matt Ryan on your
That's right.
fantasy team.
Actually, that was the big man.
It's more than the sport. It's an industry. You went into work today. What were you talking about? The football game.
Yeah.
Monday morning you go to work. What are you talking to your buddies at work about? The Jets.
right.
So the question is the NFL too big to fail?
Too big to fail?
Yeah, I mean,
spite of
like the
itself?
government bails out these banks because they're too big to fail, or these brokerage houses. Is the NFL too big to fail?
Guess what? The NFL is in cahoots with everybody. The Ray
Yes.
Rice thing goes down. All of a sudden, you see Robert Kraft's on CBS Good Morning America. Who's his best buddy? Les Moonves, the president of CBS Sports.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Well,
They're
they're-
all in cahoots. They're all They're all PR machines. Bob Kraft, he's a bad guy. What he did up in Foxborough here is unbelievable. But how lucky is he that he got Tom Brady? He was looking for the federal government to build a bridge over Route 1, looking for federal money to build a bridge across Route 1 to get it to people back and forth to his parking lots. These guys they're shady businessmen. Al Davis, all of them. These guys, the Rooneys were involved in bootlegging, for crying out loud, with the Kennedys.
Yeah.
It goes on and on. But they have the hot sport now, and they're killing it.
And you know what?
I don't
Roger
know.
Goodell.
They got to be held accountable.
Exactly.
These
But
guys
Roger
these
Goodell.
guys aren't all altar boys, and they got to make them accountable too.
Roger Goodell
I'm sick of all of them,
works.
to be honest with you.
He
Except for
works.
Tom Brady.
He works for the owners. He's hired by the owners, and he has made them a tremendous amount of money, especially in the last couple years.
Yeah.
Just look at that contract, that television contract that he negotiated. He took a channel that nobody wanted, the NFL Network, and he made the cable operators say, you're going to pay me $3 a subscriber, even for the ones that don't want to watch football. I want it on basic channel. I don't want it on an extra tier. And he got almost every one of them. That NFL Network is now in 80% of cable networks.
Well, money's the root of all evil
how we
here,
pull
buddy.
that off, Disco?
What?
Take my NFL Network, or else my boy Moonves over here at CBS is going to pull him away, and you're not going to have
Yeah.
you're not going to have whatever the top TV shows on Monday night are.
Yeah, the
It's that
CBS
simple.
game. Yeah. Hey, Pete, we're gonna take a quick break. Hang out, can you?
Absolutely.
All right,
Okay.
hang out because we're in a
We're
heavy.
talk some hockey for crying out loud. I'm sick of these football guys.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. You made it this far. Hang out for the finale. We're gonna take a short break. We'll continue our discussion with Pete Torgerson on the other side. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco, only on the InRadio.com TV network. We're coming right back.
InRadio.com. The Bully News Network, coming soon to InRadio.com, an all-new weekly show highlighting the latest news and information about the epidemic of bullying. Join Scott Hislop as he explores the issues with Dr. Michelle Golland, along with parents, teachers, and school officials, and many others affected by bullying. We'll tell stories together and work toward finding a solution to this rampant problem. The Bully News Network premieres Tuesday, September 9th at 6 p.m. only on InRadio.com. InRadio.com wants you. InRadio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRadio.com/join the team.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on InRadio.com. We're still talking to our good friend Pete Torgerson on the Glory Days hotline. Pete, you still there?
I am.
All righty. Hey, I have a question. Now, we've been talking about money and how big the NFL is.
Too big to fail.
And I kind of thought about the NFL as if they were the mafia.
Okay.
You know, not that there's any mafia.
Okay. Well,
But
you're
if
Italian. You could say that.
But if there was a mafia,
Uh-huh.
then the NFL, I think, would be mafia. First of all, they make a ton of money. They're very powerful. And they can make and break you. And the number one rule is don't go against the family.
Yes.
Right? Okay? So let's say
If
that...
that's the case, if it is the mafia, Mr. Corleone wants to hear bad news as soon as possible. So he should have heard about that Ray Rice thing and should have had the video in his desk.
Well,
the next
he
day.
probably did have the video. But now let's just
not
say...
according to him.
Well, you know, if he
He's
did
making
have
$30
the
million
video...
a year and he's Mickey the Dunce. Oh, I haven't seen it. Oh, no, I don't know. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing that I think about that. I don't think he saw the video, because if he did see the video, he would have to admit that the NFL got the video illegally.
Yeah.
Because they weren't allowed to have it.
I don't think they came up at a press conference, did it? I mean, you know, the question still is out there. You know, somebody, an unnamed source, said they sent this DVD to the NFL office, and that's the last we hear of that thing, right?
Hey, here's two things you have to realize.
Well,
The NFL has more former FBI, Secret Service, cops, high-level guys, guys from the casino industry. All they had to do was make one phone call to the head of security at the casino and say, hey, send that tape over, will you? The TMZ got the tape. Some security guy took his phone out and copied it and sold it to them. He probably made $30,000. But don't be naive to these guys. These guys are a big conglomerate.
Yeah.
They're a billion-dollar industry, you know, multi-billion-dollar industry. They've got the best of the best in their security force. They're following these clowns around when they go to town with the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, they have terrorism experts. They have, you know,
well, Pete,
everyone working on these games so those games don't get blown up, so it's not a Black Sunday.
What they
have
said.
connections. They can't come out there and look me in the eye and say, oh, I didn't know anything about it.
I agree with you. I mean, what they said, their position was basically, we're not part of a criminal investigation here, therefore we didn't have, it was not within our purview to obtain that information. Okay?
Yes, that's what
and
they
you know what they call that? Plausible deniability. And that's my story, I'm going to stick with it. I mean, you know, so he's got a Teflon in this situation, you know? In the court of public opinion, he's guilty.
But,
you know?
but also, Ray Rice said that he told Goodell, I punched her, I knocked her out in the elevator. Does the fact that this video surfaced make that any worse? That's my contention, is that he already admitted that he punched her, okay? And he admitted that to Goodell. The video of him dragging her out was already out there, so that was horrific enough. I mean, everybody knew she didn't just pass out.
Right.
You know? But yet he still chose to just give him 2 games, okay?
So sadly enough, the video makes it 20 times worse than it actually is.
Right, but because of that video, should his penalty have been made worse? That's what I'm saying. It's not fair.
Well, and that's what he's arguing, right? I mean, didn't they file some kind of grievance against the league?
Right, well, they did.
They're saying, you know, I'm being punished for this thing twice. You told me 2 games, okay? I spent my 2 games, and now you're telling me that's not good enough?
Right, because it's not like he said, well, you know, I just kind of pushed her and she fell. And you know what I mean? If he had told Goodell that, and that was the basis for him to give him 2 games, and then this video surfaced, understood.
Yeah.
But he said, this is what I did. And the video showed exactly what he did.
Yeah,
So,
and guess what? Goodall has a credibility issue now because
does.
why are we talking about this and having to ask these questions? If he was a stand-up guy and got up there and said, hey, here's what happened, this is what I'm doing, you know, I thought 2 games was right, I screwed up, I think it would be a lot easier to swallow. Then he,
I agree, and that's what we said last week, is that basically,
this guy's brutal. He's getting bad advice. Put Bo Dietl on the case. Let me know what happened, what really happened.
well, you know what? This guy's a lawyer. Roger Goodell was a lawyer before he became commissioner. And he has made them a ton of money.
Yep.
These owners are going to back him up no matter what.
William Shakespeare said, right?
What?
Kill all the lawyers. That's what he said.
Kill all the lawyers.
Be a lot better country if we didn't have all these lawyers, I'll tell you that.
You know, we know, and we talked about this even last year and the year before when all those guys from Cincinnati were getting arrested and everything that's going on. You know, here's what I don't understand. You know, we put helmets on these guys and we dress them in pads and we ask them 50 to 60 times a game to hit each other violently and knock each other down and drag them through the thing. But yet we want to monitor their personal lives like they're regular people. I mean, could you imagine? Remember back in the gladiator times?
Yeah.
Okay. A gladiator's
Well, I don't
job-
remember that,
Well,
but
you know,
okay.
a gladiator's job is to go into the ring and not beat you. It's to kill you.
Yeah.
Okay? I have to physically kill you or you're going to kill me. Okay? Could you imagine if after he went home and he goes home and his wife says, honey, how's my job? How's my job? I got to do this. And he loses his mind and he punches
out of the
him.
equation, Nate Disco.
You know what?
Steroids.
Well,
These guys are all roided up, HGH, everything. That makes you a mental case.
Yeah.
And I think that I don't know what they expect. I mean, we don't expect them to break the laws of society. You're not supposed to, okay? But that's what they do. You know, remember all the hubbub about Roseanne Barr when she sang the national anthem and she grabbed her crotch?
Yes.
What did you think Roseanne Barr was going to do when you asked her to sing the national anthem? She can't sing. She's a comedian. And then everybody was outraged.
Yeah.
I mean, were you outraged at what Ray Rice did, or were you outraged after you saw the video? What made it worse? You know what I mean? Why did seeing the video make it so much worse? So I don't know I don't really have a solution other than, the only thing to take away from these people is their money and their playing time. And you got to suspend them. That's what you have to do.
It's a life lesson thing for these guys. 70% of them are filing for bankruptcy 10 years after they're.
I read that.
They don't know how to
That's
manage their money. They don't know how to manage their life. They got to get with the program at some point. All right, somebody's paying you $2 million. It's not a race to see how many cars you could buy and how many gold chains before you blow every penny you have.
Yeah.
You know, they should even pay these guys. They said, listen, you got a $10 million contract. We're going to give you $500,000 a year for the next 20 years. Just.
I mean, let's face it. You know, the NFL.
It's embarrassing.
You know, the
It
NFL and maybe the NBA also. They're so much different than hockey and baseball because very rarely does a hockey player or a baseball player just come directly out of college into the professional ranks making a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Did you ever see Tony Dungy's speech to his rookies?
No.
You need one car. You need one house. You need one girlfriend. You need one wife.
One girlfriend and one wife. Okay.
See? The mafia.
Okay.
You got a goomba. A goomba.
Friday night the girlfriend, Saturday night the wife.
I don't know. You know, the other thing is that the NFL has over everybody is, let's say, you're...
They have fantasy football.
No, but you're Coca-Cola.
Okay.
All right? And you be Coca-Cola for a second. I'm going to be the NFL. All right? And you come to me and you want to tell me that you want to pull your advertising. Go ahead, tell me.
You have no control over your players. You know, I don't want to be associated with this product. I no longer want to advertise with you.
You sure?
And you know what they tell them? All right.
And they're going to say,
Guess what?
here's what
You
the
can't
NFL.
advertise
Well,
on,
here's what the NFL is
Tuesday
going to
nights
say.
on,
The
8
NFL is
o'clock
going to
on
say.
CBS and our primetime stuff.
That's okay, no
You're
problem.
taking the whole
Well,
package. You're not walking away from us.
Don't worry.
And it's back to your mob mentality. They're holding the gun to these guys.
Right, well, no, that's not what they'll do. I know the mob mentality. What they're going to tell you is, don't worry, no problem. It's all right. We'll give you your money back. You know, we're going to have to take down all your signs in all of our stadiums and take all of your products out of our stadiums, and we'll just replace them with Pepsi. Because Pepsi's going to do. And then what's going to happen is...
You know, this is a poor analogy because I think Pepsi is...
I know, it's Pepsi the other way around.
Exactly right.
But then a year later or 2 years later, everything is okay, right? And you come back and you say, you want to get back in. And you know what I say? Who are you? I don't know you.
Doubled.
And that's what happens. Once you're
Like
out,
one of young Vito
you're out.
Corleone's wife's friend. They were throwing her out of the apartment because the dog was barking too much, and then the next thing you know, she got a reduction in her
That's exactly right.
rent, and everything else was good.
That is exactly right. Hey, Pete, we got a couple minutes left. You want to give us we're going to start talking about hockey next week, but you want to get about 2 minutes in about hockey?
All right. The Rangers aren't going to make the playoffs this year.
We like hearing that.
Yeah, they're going to have a big hangover. They lost too many key players, too many of their grinders, and they're in trouble next year.
Well,
The
yeah.
Islanders will make the playoffs, though, I believe, right?
The Islanders are going to make the playoffs, and they're going to go deep.
You think so?
How's that?
I like the sound of that.
I like the cut of your jib.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great year. Some players, there was some players movement, but the Blackhawks, the Kings, the strength of the league is still out west.
Yeah, it is.
They
Yeah,
did a
it
good
is.
job of re-signing their players. The Bruins are a mess. They're going to have to make some more moves just to get everybody in, and it's not going to happen. The Rangers lost a lot. The Islanders are up and coming if the goalie pans out for him, if Tavares stays healthy. I think, and they pick up a few solid defensemen, I think they're going to have a good year.
That's the question mark for them
All
is
these other
defense.
teams everybody's ready this year. The
What do you
Wild
think?
is going to be a good team. The
What do you
Blue
think
Jackets-
about? They had a couple of rule changes this year. They increased the trapezoid behind
Yeah.
the net to give the goalie a little more room to play the puck. They said that
biggest
that
rule is
was
the diving.
they what?
They're going to be looking at diving more.
Yeah,
That
they
was-
said not only are they going to find the players, but if the player continues to dive, they're going to find the coach.
Yeah,
I
it's,
see.
it's small numbers too. It's like $2,500 or $2,432. Then it goes to $5,000. Then it goes to $10,000. I don't think it goes up high
And-
enough to really.
You know what they're doing? They're outlawing the spinorama.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't
like that.
Yeah.
Nah.
I like the spinorama.
Spin around in a shootout.
And also,
Yeah, it's right. Only in a shootout, not
Right.
not if you're
No, if
going
you're
on a
coming-
breakaway.
right, only shootouts and penalty shots.
Oh, okay, okay.
And they have, and the other thing that they're doing is when they have overtime, they're going to change sides, so that it'll be just like the second period when your bench is in your defensive zone,
And guess what?
not your
That's a
offensive zone.
huge change.
That's
Yeah,
a
it
big
is.
change. Yeah. All righty, Pete.
You get it down one end and you start pounding them a little bit. It's next to impossible to get out. And then with the icing and you can't change.
We're going to put together our first ever Glory Days hockey extravaganza, but we don't have that many hockey correspondents. So you're going to have to speak for most of them. And we'll be doing that in the next couple of weeks leading up to the thing. Thanks, Pete. We really appreciate it.
All
And
right, guys.
you're
Good
not going to
job as
watch
always.
anything this week, right? You're not watching the NFL this week.
Hey, I will be at Foxborough Stadium. At
I
1
know
o'clock.
you
will
will.
be oiling up as my quarterback tells me at around 10.
Listen, I need the Patriots to win because it's my last chance for a survivor pool.
Hey, we got to talk about the Jets Patriots Thursday night game.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. Forgot all about it. We will do
We'll
that.
call you on that.
All right,
Okay.
man.
All right.
Thanks.
See you guys. Good
All right.
job.
All righty. We are out of time here on the Glory Days show.
Just flew by.
Just flew right by. Almost like it was a Friday. Thanks to our producer, our new producer, Kyle Melnick. And Bonnie were in the booth today, giving us a hand today. Welcome to the program, Kyle. Thanks to Jerry Schwarzman and for Pete Torgerson helping us out today. Thanks again, Chuck and Bonnie, putting up with this nonsense week after week. And, of course, thank you, our fans, for tuning in week after week. Anything else?
Go Jets.
Go Jets.
Okay.
We'll see you next week. Check out our archive page to watch all of the shows
On demand.
on demand.
Okay.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
InReview.com.